Hi, I'm Carl Mason and I'm the BNP organiser for the Worcestershire area. Today we have with me Mr Chalkie White, and it concerns some emails that he sent to Mr Peter Luff, which resulted in Chalkie getting a visit from the police. The actual emails were about Mrs Lawrence being made a life Baroness and a peer, while the parents of Lee Rigsby, Charlene Downs and Chris Donaldson got absolutely nothing. We'll be talking to Mr White in a minute about the emails and what happened to it.
First of all, I sent Mr Sir Peter Luff, let's call him by his correct title, Sir Peter Luff, an email that I had received by somebody called Peter Lucas. Now, I've never heard of this gentleman before. It just, email came out of the blue, and I read through it, and I decided to send it on to Mr Luff. In the meantime, I put a little piece on the bottom of the email stating that my nephew was murdered by foreigners. My sister has worked tirelessly for 21 years, to be exact, trying to get justice for my nephew and her son. She contacted the Foreign Office. They refused to do anything. She went and got in touch with a local MP. Again, he did nothing. And that's why I sent a little bit on the bottom of that Peter Lucas letter, wanting to know why Doreen Lawrence was made a dame when my sister and other people have done exactly the same for their own children and have had nothing at all recognised for it.
Right. We've actually kept the emails from Mr Luff, and his basic message was, we're racist, he's appalled, shocked, we're evil, and all it was, we just asked him a basic question of why is there a discrepancy with the treatment from a black person to a white person. Now, Mr White's email to Mr Luff resulted in you getting a visit from the police, Chalkie. Want to tell us about that?
Yes, well, what happened was there was a banging on my window one night, and eventually when I got to the front door, opened it, there was two police officers standing there. I asked them what they wanted, and they asked me my name and everything like that, and I said yes. Can they come in? I said yes, you can come in by all means. When they sat down, it was then they told me about a racist email I'd sent Mr Peter Luff. Then they went on to say that the email, they wanted to know the person's address, which I couldn't give them because I hadn't met the man and I didn't know who the man was. Eventually they said there was nothing to be done, no crime had been committed, and they left. But then, on the 11th of December, I received a letter from the police stating that they'd give me a crime number for a crime that I hadn't committed, and I would like to ask, why have I been issued a crime number without a crime being committed, and now that is on my record.
Right. We asked Mr Luff if he would like to attend this meeting and contribute to this clip, but we haven't received a reply from Mr Luff. He also had a nice article printed up about Chalkie in the paper in the Worcester Evening News, so we can only assume the Worcester Evening News received the information about Chalkie from Mr Luff. And there was another article by Tom Edwards criticising Mr White. I emailed Tom Edwards and said had he read the actual emails that Chalkie had sent, and again he hasn't replied either.
I'd also like to know, off Mr Luff, how the Sunday newspaper reporter was stood on my doorstep one Saturday afternoon after I came back from shopping. I didn't send for the reporter, so it must have been done through Mr Luff. But I believe, and I still believe it, it was a cheap trick to get at UKIP, because I used to be, as you know, Carl, a member of UKIP. So now all he's doing is a sly trick to get a bit of voting for his party.
And do you support the BNP now?
Well, for what they've done for me, yes, because nobody else has helped me. I do support them. If you remember, in the last local election, I didn't canvass, but I nominated one of your candidates, and I'd do so again.
We can only assume Mr Luff's actions are because we asked a question about Stephen Lawrence. He was quite happy with that. One of the emails I sent Mr Luff stated, would he address a packed Parliament about Stephen Lawrence's murder with the same enthusiasm about Charlene Downes' murder? And he replied back, oh, you're racist, I'm appalled, I'm offended. So we can only assume that Mr Luff is a racist himself because he treats people differently because of the colour of their skin.
Well, the email that I got from Mr Luff was that Doreen Lawrence had been trying her damnedest to get justice done and dignity for her son. Well, hasn't all the other parents done this? They want a closure on it. They're left up in the air, don't know who murdered their children or anything like that. So I don't think that it should just emphasise on one person. This with Stephen Lawrence, it was very sad that he was murdered, but it's been going on for 21 years now. Don't we have to give it a rest?
There was also a campaign to change the name of Heathrow Airport to the Stephen Lawrence International. Would Mr Luff support the same campaign to change Manchester Airport to the Lee Rigsby International Airport?
Well, yes. Well, and also, what about the other people that have lost their lives? From Paige Chivers, she was from Blackpool, and as you said, Charlene Downes. But there's a list go on and on and on. Justice needs to be done for them as well.
As Mr Luff has demonstrated, there's justice for black victims and there's second-rate justice for white victims. Thank you for being here today, Chalkie, making your speech for BNP TV.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Carl, and I'm glad the BNP have decided to look at this case, and I thank them very much.
Thanks a lot, Chalkie.